What's going on, guys? Thanks for finding your way to my YouTube channel. I'm Kevin Duffey. This is Duffey Geeks Out, and I'm coming at you with my review of Episode 2 of The House of the Dragon. This show is definitely bringing me back to loving Game of Thrones. It's got everything. It's got everything you want. It's got the internal strife between the houses. It's got, playing each other for different gains. It's got all the all the royal court shit you like the picking of the knights to replace the King's Guard, and just little things like that. And it's really, really a breath of fresh air. This show is actually good. There were two things in this episode that I didn't like, though, and I'm going to talk about them right off the bat, and then we'll get to everything good. The first thing I didn't like was I'm not a huge fan of the time jumps they are doing in this series. Obviously, there was a 6-month time jump from episode 1 to episode 2, and from the preview for episode 3, it looks like there's at least a 9-month, if not a full year jump to the next one, and I don't really get the need of that. I understand that it's not like the Game of Thrones proper, right? It's not the books were. There were 5 books written at that time, and lots of, storylines to take and kind of flush out into the series across, 8 seasons. And this show is only based on, I believe Fire and Blood only has 2 books. I might even be wrong with that. I never read Fire and Blood, so I don't know. But it seems like in order to stay with the story of the books, they're doing these time jumps rather than improvising, which is kind of where Game of Thrones fell off the rails. But I don't know. I just feel like these time jumps and these places they're traveling to so quickly within their episodes are just, it feels a little weird. It's not bad. It's still good drama and good TV. It just feels weird. It doesn't feel as earnest as the original Game of Thrones show was, but whatever. That's kind of a minor gripe, I guess. And the other thing I didn't like about this episode was, and I think everybody did, was that super cringeworthy part where Corlys Valerian was trying to push, or Valeron, I don't know that guy's name, was trying to push his 12-year-old daughter on the king. Oh my God. If I felt gross in the last episode when the Hand of the King was pushing his daughter Alicent at the king, I feel way more gross this episode. And thank God for King Viserys. He is, without fail, just a good guy, I know he pushed his wife to giving birth, and he just needed the heir, and he could only pick one, and his wife died, he lost the baby, all shit. He made some fucking mistakes, but he's at least a good dude, because he sits down for one walk in the garden with this 12-year-old girl who's getting pushed on him for a potential, match. And he's grossed out. He's grossed out. She's grossed out. Everybody's grossed out. It was so uncomfortable, but it was so Game of Thrones. So it makes sense that it was in there. But man, I was fucking really disgusted by that scene. And thank God he didn't go that route, and he ended up choosing at the end to go with Alicent, who, again, she's a kid too. She's only supposed to be 16, 17, 18-year-old girl or whatever. But that's so much better than a 12-year-old. Oh my God, it's so gross. So gross. But yeah, I didn't like that very much. But the rest of the show is cool. I love the setup with the what's going on with the crab feeder or whatever the hell the bad guy's name is that you haven't seen yet. Pretty disgusting to see him just feeding people to crabs and crucifying them on the beach and shit. Very Game of Thrones. Very gross. I really like that the court or the small council or whatever is set up so that they can decide what to do about them. But he's like, oh, well, we're not going to war with the free cities. And it's that duty to your realm versus going to war thing. And it's one of the things that the kings in Westeros often are having conflicts about what to do about problems. And I don't know. I like that it's kind of building up this tension between what the king should be doing and what he thinks is best for the realm. So I don't know. That's the shit about Game of Thrones that I love. So House of the Dragon's really delivering on that. It had some build-up action, no real action in this episode, but I loved seeing Dragonstone again. Oh man, that place is so cool. That's like one of the cooler castles that Game of Thrones ever had. And to see that Daemon just took it, or whatever, in 6 months, he's taken it for himself and stole a dragon egg, and he wrote that little like "gotcha, bitch" fucking note to the king. I love that. And I thought it was gonna come down to some swordplay, and then his fucking dragon looked rad, crawling onto the back of Dragonstone, and like, oh yeah, make a move. You're all dead. You're on this little strip. There's nowhere to go. This dragon comes in. He's getting you guys fucking toasted. I loved that. And then for Rhaenyra as a character to step up and realize that she could resolve this without any bloodshed, and she flies the Dragonstone herself on her dragon. It was fucking awesome. I love that. So I don't know. I haven't read Fire and Blood, so I don't know really where people end up. I was gonna do a deep dive on YouTube into the histories of the book, rather than listen to the books myself. I love Audible, and I love Game of Thrones. I've listened to a few of the books on Audible, but I don't know that I'll have time to dive into Fire and Blood before this season wraps up. So I think I might just do a YouTube dive myself and find out some history about the House of the Dragon, or where the House of the Dragon could go. So it seems to me like the preview for next week's episode is almost setting up like Rhaenyra is gonna join Daemon, so that might be the storyline where it goes, but who knows? Anyways, this show is working out really, really great for me. I love Game of Thrones again, so it's delivering everything that it should. But the question is for you guys: what did you think of episode 2? Were you really disgusted by that, little matchmaking that they were doing? Because that was it's pretty fucking gross. Whatever you thought about this episode, let me know in the comments. Click that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 500 subscribers, and you guys can help me get there. So thank you so much. We'll get you guys with another video really soon. See ya.